So we've all played around with the chatbots and the image generators, right? It's been pretty wild. But what happens after all this initial hype dies down? Well, today, we're looking past that. We're diving into the next wave of generative AI, the big, fundamental shifts that are going to quietly reshape entire industries over the next 5 years. So let's get into what's really on the horizon.
I love this way of thinking about where we are right now. You know, the Model T wasn't the very first car ever built, not by a long shot, but it was the one that made the whole technology accessible, affordable, and it totally changed society. The AI tools we see today, that's our Model T. They're not the final product, they're the vehicle that's just kicking off this massive, massive transformation.
And that, right there, is the key. The real revolution isn't about writing emails a little faster or coming up with a clever tweet. No, it's about using this tech to completely re-engineer the engine of a business. We're talking everything from the factory floor all the way up to the C-suite.
Okay, so if that's the big picture, what does this next wave actually look like on the ground? To really get it, we need to look at a few key trends, and we're going to start with maybe the biggest hurdle that companies are facing right now. First up is what's being called the digital adoption gap. It turns out, a company's ability to actually use this new AI wave depends almost entirely on the digital foundation it's been building, or not building, over the past decade. And wow, this slide really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got your digital native companies. They can basically just plug Gen AI into their existing systems and boom, see results almost right away. But on the other side, you have businesses still kind of drowning in paperwork and old-school processes. For them, the barrier is huge. They have to digitize everything first, and that's a process that could take years, putting them dangerously behind the curve.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. Think about a hospital that already has digital patient records. They can bring in an AI for clinical note-taking and instantly save each doctor and nurse up to 15 hours a month. Just think about that for a second. That's a huge gain in efficiency. Meanwhile, a hospital still shuffling paper charts, they are completely locked out of this innovation. They're effectively left in the dust.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. While that digital divide is a massive deal for core operations, Gen AI can actually be a great equalizer for functions that pretty much every business has, like customer service or HR. Any company, it doesn't matter how digitally savvy they are, can use these tools to automate support or streamline recruiting. So this becomes the perfect low-risk way for basically anybody to dip their toes in the water.
All right, so we've got this gap in who can even use the tech, but the technology itself is also changing. And fast. It's not just about a few giant AI models from the big tech companies anymore. A whole new ecosystem is starting to take shape.
The big shift we're seeing right now is a move away from those huge one-size-fits-all AI models. The new landscape is way more diverse. We're seeing smaller, highly specialized models pop up, models that are trained to do one specific job for one specific industry and do it exceptionally well.
And you can really see the two camps forming right here. In this first column, foundational models, you've got the giants, Google, Microsoft, building these massive operating systems for AI. But then, look over here in the specialized models column. This is where new companies are popping up, and they're using those foundational models to solve very specific problems, like analyzing legal documents or helping with precision medicine. And honestly, that specialization is where a ton of the real, immediate business value is going to come from.
And this new ecosystem? Well, it's creating this huge ripple effect when it comes to money. It turns out the biggest financial impact of Gen AI isn't just the cost of the AI tool itself. It's the wave of other investments it forces companies to make across their entire tech setup.
It's kind of like that old saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. We've seen this happen before. Years ago, military AI drove massive investment in things like data infrastructure. Well, generative AI is the new catalyst. To use it right, companies are realizing they have to upgrade everything, from their data storage to their cloud capabilities.
So where is all this money actually going? This chart breaks it down. To get Gen AI to work, you need clean data, right? So investment in data modernization just skyrockets. You need more processing power, so spending on cloud compute goes through the roof. But this last one, AI governance, this is the one to really watch. As companies start using these powerful tools, they're realizing the immense risks involved. And that's why building clear rules and guardrails is quickly becoming a top investment priority.
Okay, so we've covered a lot, right? The digital gap, the new players, the investment ripple. So what do you do with all this information? How do you actually navigate this? Well, here's a simple 3-step playbook to get you started.
First up, you've got to build your foundation. Seriously, this goes right back to that digital divide we talked about. You have to know where your data is and how to access it. Because, let's be honest, without clean data, AI is pretty much useless. Then, step 2. Target automation. Look for the most repetitive, data-heavy, time-consuming tasks in your business. This is your low-hanging fruit for getting a quick, high-impact win. And finally, step 3, and this is a big one. Govern early. Don't treat risk and safety as an afterthought. Build your policies from day one, because earning and keeping trust is everything.
And really, that's what it all boils down to. This transformation isn't optional. It's coming. The companies that really focus on these 3 things, building that foundation, targeting smart automation, and governing from the start, they're the ones that are going to lead the next decade. Everyone else is just going to be playing catch-up. So the only real question is, which side are you going to be on?